Senator, in its current form, the $410 billion spending bill is not one you're going to vote yes for, is that right?
I'm not going to support it, Greta, no. I think there are substantive problems and definitely perception problems. We're running more than $1 trillion deficit. Our national debt is going up more than $1 million every minute. And this bill, over the next 10 years, will add $250 billion on top of that. I mean, think about this. If we just held the line for the next 7 months of this fiscal year, we'd save 7 months. We'd save $250 billion. That's more than a third of all the money we're being asked for to reform the entire healthcare system in the country. So that's the substantive problem. The perceptual problem is so many Americans are tightening their belts to try and get through these difficult times. I think it's important for Washington and the federal government to show solidarity and do the same, to give up some of our projects, to show that we can tighten our belts. I mean, even for 7 months, that's not asking for too much.
Well, you are one of the few Democrats, Senator Feingold, and I might add from the great state of Wisconsin, which I always add. He's also a Democrat who, at least in the current form, is going to vote no. Why is it that the two of you seem to be the only ones who have that thought, and the rest of the people in your party think it's fine, we'll vote for it and fund the government until September 30th at this number?
Well, maybe it's just good Midwestern common sense, Greta, but in my case, it's the fact that I was a governor. I had to balance budgets even during difficult times, and sometimes you have to defer things you want to do. Sometimes you have to make tough decisions to hold the line on spending, and in this particular case, this is just general government spending. It's not targeted at creating jobs. It's not designed to try and keep the financial system from going down. It's just across-the-board spending, many times the rate of inflation. Many times the rate of inflation. And with the deficits that we have, all the money we have to borrow from abroad, which weakens our country, this is not something we should be doing now.
I can see, maybe sort of selfishly wanting your own sort of pork project to go through, but the problem is that there are so many. I mean, the numbers are extraordinary. How many of these, over 8,000 earmarks in this? So you would think that while you might support, you really want yours, if you see 7,999 others, you might have a different view. They don't?
Well, for some, it's the projects, and not all of them are bad. They're not all bridges to nowhere, but at this moment in time, I think it's just something we can't afford. Some of them like just the higher levels of spending for all the programs, the 8% across-the-board increase. They resented some of the lines that were drawn during the Bush years, and they want to make up for that in their minds. And I think some others would prefer maybe to not buck the leadership, that kind of thing. So you put all that together, and that generates support for the bill. But again, Greta, the day of reckoning is coming. We can't run deficits like this forever. The markets will react and punish us if we don't. And
they are. Went down another almost 80 points today.
Well, they are, but that may be the result of many things. I'm talking about something truly cataclysmic. Our currency collapsing, interest rates skyrocketing because of our unsustainable deficits. It's now at an unprecedented level, well, except during the Second World War, perhaps, or the Civil War, of 12% of GDP. And this is just not sustainable. I was with Ben Bernanke last week. He said, look, you really need to get it down to 2% of GDP to avoid long-term problems. So for me, all the small stuff in the bill, either the projects or the annual appropriation increases for all the stuff, that wasn't nearly as significant as doing what was in the long-term interest for the country and trying to reconnect with ordinary people and say, look, we're with you on this. We're willing to tighten our belts, too, to get through this difficult time.
You have been quoted as saying that if the bill, I assume the bill is going to get the president's desk, but that he should veto it. Have you told him that?
No, but I know they're aware of my views on the subject. And look,
how do you know that they're aware of it? Because they watch TV, or because you've gotten word?
I know an opinion piece I wrote for one of the publications. The Wall Street Journal was given to some of the high-ranking people in the White House by some other folks, not by me. But look, it's a tough spot for me. I was governor of my state, as you know. I actually had to veto our state budget one year, even though my own party had passed it in my House of Representatives. That was a hard thing to do.
Well, why is it? Stop for a second. You say it's hard. I mean, there's so many earmarks in this, and I've gone back through what the president said in the lead up to the election, and he said, vote for change, and he's got, he doesn't like earmarks, he doesn't like pork, he likes transparency. Then he calls this bill, which has over 8,000 earmarks in it, he calls it last year's business. Is it last year's business?
It's this year's money, Greta.
So it's not last year's business. You agree?
No, it's this year's money, and it's our children's future.